Um, my name is Rishi Bhargava. I'm a rising senior, so currently a junior at University of Colorado Boulder. And I'm an intern with Variantz Singapore. What I know about Variantz, basically it seems like a sort of head title for a lot of different SDUs, and I work on the Smart Appliance SDU, and from there I know that all these products that are currently being sold, I know they were at one point, and we're basically doing work to get it in position to be sold again soon. My role at Variantz is basically a social media intern, but I also like designing and creating the campaign itself, so the strategy as well. It's super interesting. I make the content, and then I get to analyze all the results of the content and sort of see what I can do to make it better. The ad principle to me means analyze, decide, do. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory, but essentially an iterative process to where you always want to be improving, and you want everything else to be data-driven. And then it comes back in as well that whatever you do should be adding value to the company, and not only that, but adding value to what everybody else is doing. So you're not just working on an island, but that process of analyze, decide, do also comes into play with everybody else. Try and learn approach is what's the try and learn approach and how did it affect you? Why? Basically, self-explanatory. Try and learn approach is just do it, and then from there, see what you can do better. I think something that's sort of required here is learn while you do. So everything has to happen at a very quick pace, and you need to have sort of the try and learn approach where you try things and learn all at the same time. What are the three most important positive traits you must have in order to succeed in Variantz? Why? I think number one would probably be adaptability. It's a very fast-paced environment. You need to be able to keep up. There'll be a lot of changing things, and the world might change as well. So just being able to sort of pivot quickly is super important here. I'll also say sort of reliability. There are people you're working in a team, so people depend on you to do your job. So that you need to, if they need whatever you're doing to do their job. So you have to sort of balance that, and you can't let your teammates down. So definitely reliability is a big thing here. And then I think the third one is curiosity. So being curious about everything that's going on. Goes back to the try and learn approach as well. You just have to keep going, keep learning, and like I said, learn as you do. How is school and life back home different from Variantz in Singapore? Why? I would say it's much more fast-paced here. And this again goes back to the try and learn thing, where everything you do is sort of at the same time. So you're going quick, you're having to adapt, you're having to learn. Whereas in the US, you can sort of take a different approach to it, where you can learn first, do second. I think that has its merits, right? I think you can get just better quality stuff with that. But here, it's about getting the better quality. It's quicker, and I think it's a little bit quicker definitely if you're doing it as you go. So you're not just learning first, then do it, but you're learning and doing it at the same time. That's it for the required questions. These are the additional questions. The first one: what's the biggest takeaway from your internship experience? I think my biggest takeaway is just how different everything can be. Not even just from the US, but from spot to spot in Asia. It's not sort of one contiguous market. It's very different things are going to work different ways. And in my classes, basically, I learned that the principles of marketing are always the same. And I'd say that's definitely true. But I when I first came here, I overestimated how important the principles show up in advertising. You definitely have to change a lot more than I was expecting for the advertising to work well. I think just sort of experiencing that difference has been the biggest takeaway for me. Are there any culture shocks in the workplace at Variantz? I would say so. I think the biggest one, well, for one, is shared workspace, right? And I haven't been in an office before, but as a worker, but I do know that those offices have especially in the US, a certain noise tolerance. Here, you really just can't. It's very short conversations, or you have to like take it somewhere else. So that was a pretty big culture shock. But then also, I think in general, everything's just faster. And I like fast paced. It definitely makes things interesting. But again, you have to be adaptable. You have to be moving quick. You can't drag your feet. You can't just try and learn as you go, or you can't just try and learn and then go. You have to learn as you go. How likely are you going to apply the same role in the future? Probably not too likely. I'm not huge into social media. I like the sort of storytelling aspects of it, but I think I would prefer to work in different forms of media. So whether that's print, so Google AdWords, or commercials, whatever it is. I want to explore that a little bit more, and I think I've done social media a lot, and this is probably most I've done it. I think it's definitely a great experience because it's very still, you really have to make an impression on social media, whereas something like TV isn't quite as difficult. But I do want to venture into that realm a little more, so I probably would not reapply the same role in the future. What's the most valuable advice you received during the internship? The most valuable thing Ethan told me was that sometimes you're going to be broke, and you just kind of have to take it. It's never going to be personal, but at the same time, like you're trying to learn. So it's part of the learn and go thing. You just gotta keep going, and getting broke is just part of that process because you're going to screw up sometimes. But that's okay as long as you kind of take it on the chin and keep going, you'll be fine. What kind of mindset is most successful in this company culture? I'm trying not to repeat myself, but beyond just that with the mindset, it's also someone who wants to collaborate heavily. If you kind of work on an island and are trying to involve your teammates and you're trying to maybe just not give them more work, it's not going to be the best recipe to success. You want to be involved with them, you want them to be involved with you, and it might mean a little more work, but a lot of the times it will also save you time. Because, if I do something for someone, it's sort of building a relationship where they can help me out with something, and I feel like in the long run, when you have a cohesive team, you're going to end up saving time, because of the things you want to do on your own that might just be repeating, whereas if you have collaboration, teamwork, and communication, you can get stuff done faster, but it does take a little, it's an uphill battle to get to that point. You definitely have to make an effort with that. Looking back, how would you have better prepared yourself before starting your internship at Variantz? Why? I would have done more research into Singapore advertising. Not to say that I didn't, I definitely did, but specifically in social media, like I said, I just underestimated how different it would be. I don't think I was able to sort of come back to that and still adapt, but I really wish I was able to hit the ground running a little bit faster if I did some more research onto not necessarily what works, because I did do that, but more so what doesn't work, what needs you forward, and then focusing on the differences of what works in the US, what overlaps with the list of what doesn't work in Singapore. I wish I did more preparation on that front. How is team collaboration working with your supervisor advanced and/or completed workloads in comparison to working with? I kind of already answered this one. Basically, working alone might seem like you're trying to save everybody from taking more of their time, but in reality, working collaboratively will save everybody time. I'm not going to expand on that, I already did. What AI or tools you consider essential for you? For social media, I think AI is a great tool, but AI-generated content does not fly on a lot of these platforms. So TikTok and Instagram will basically blacklist a post if it's an AI caption, maybe AI generated, and you don't say that it is, or you don't have, like a unique spin on it. So I would really recommend staying away from AI in that capacity. But as for like required, I think, the AI making everything faster is almost required to use it to generate new ideas and use it to sort of help you plan out things. It can just be a great time saver that way. For tools, Canva is a must, especially Canva Pro. There are like ways to get Canva Pro for free, but ideally get the paid version because it's not brand tools. There are some like online photo editing as well. Like I use Pixlr. I think that's a great tool. But Canva should give you everything you need. And then if it can't, there are like some B-roll sites, basically to get pictures or videos, whatever, stock free. So you don't have to pay for them, and you can use them in posts. So those are the three main things. Were there any moments where you felt especially connected to your work? I would say the moments I felt most connected to my work were when things were working really were. So if things were going really well, I would get really amped up and hyped and wanted to sort of power through and keep that momentum going. When things kind of slowed down and I wasn't getting the results I wanted, I kind of focused in and like, okay, how can I make this better? How can I get the results I want? And that sort of helped me focus. But I think the times when I wasn't as connected to my work was when things were just like not as standard. So no improvements, no like things going wrong, just kind of business as usual. I think job opportunities, that's definitely interesting because this is the first time I'm in the office, like I said. So it's going to be, like, I'll figure out how to sort of navigate that going forward in my career. Favorite part about the internship? I would say working in person and meeting everybody. It's really fun. The other interns here are great, so it's a lot of fun to just kind of work with them. And as I mentioned, third time mentioning, it's my first time in the office, so I haven't really been exposed to that environment outside of like fast food jobs. But I think in an office it's pretty fun, and I like it a lot. Just be able to talk to people like that. I did hybrid stuff for virtual stuff before, and I think it was just mostly focused on work, and then I had to go figure out other things to do. But here, meeting the people is definitely my favorite part. This is the last one. How can you apply what you have learned to discover your future career? I think the biggest application is just one, I suppose, sort of intangibles that I was able to learn over the course of this internship. Learning, adapting, taking it through like all the things I said. Those intangibles are something that's definitely going to help me in the future. Lessons learned, things like that. But then also the practical experience of being in a new country and navigating the advertising in that country. It's definitely something that I think I can apply in the future, even if it's not like directly to Singapore, because obviously different countries are going to have different advertising sort of needs. But already having some experience in how to adapt from here will definitely help me adapt even quicker next time. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that's going to help me in my career. And that's it. So yeah, welcome to Variantz.